Is the light good? Anyway, yes. Welcome to the first live of since we all have an agreement and we all understand, this has been out of many one boss man, right? I don't know why I've never, because no, it's a lot of fun. If you ever see what my dog just do, that's hilarious. Like there are times when your dogs do things and you wonder, like, why did this dog do that? And then you go, right, they can't tell you that they love you, they have to show you. That's just what it is. So you just have to just accept it for what it is. Yeah, no, obviously this is my first live. Well, not my first live, our first live. So this is where I break the fourth wall and at the same time commit to it, right? So as you realize, this is the casual with the bucket hat. So once you see that, that's a little more, yeah, Bossman Champloo kind of thing, right? And you see a little bit of the cinema back here, right? So maybe for the fun of it, I'll pause the live and just kind of switch into the different the different characters and such, right? But you know what, yeah, maybe I feel like I can only do this once a week. I can only do this once a week because there's a lot for me to do. Because watch this, I just saw a tweet, right, from, and remember this is Champloo, so therefore I have to talk the MMA talk, right? What's his name? Why am I saying it like Johnny Bones Jones, right? The youngest, light heavyweight champion of MMA, right? Is a big name. It's a big deal, right? But I see a tweet now. I should have taken the picture, sent it to my other device so I can actually show you what he said. So it's going to be difficult because now I have to paraphrase, or I might be able to go on Facebook and find what he said. I wonder if I can do that. Because if I can do that, I can get away with this, So let me see. Let me see if I can get away with that. Let me see. I'm switching tabs. All right. That might be a problem because I don't know. Did I share it to a story? I don't think I did. Alright, let me switch to my local. Yeah, but because I don't want to paraphrase. That's the problem. Like John Jones said some things and I want to kind of address it because I feel like, alright, let me see. Low kick MMA. That's the community on Facebook that I saw this post. So okay, wait, what? Hold on, let me move this phone a little bit. All right, hold on. All right, big up to Daniel Cormier. Cormier is giving John Jones him props. He's saying John Jones would probably have beaten Tom Aspinall. He's honestly that good. And in all fairness, he's proven that, right? But no, we'll never know, right? But I want to go back to, really? I'm not even gonna say that, but that's not the tweet I wanted. Here we go. All right, good. So, all right, let me. I am supposed to do this on Bossman Champloo specifically, but let me flip around the camera so you can see. Right? So look at what it says here. I'm gonna try and read it like he's talking. Like, I guess everybody else gets to retire, just not when you're still dominating. Funny how that works. Forget personal goals, forget business ventures. Some folks really believe you should fight until they say you've had enough. Wild. Imagine thinking a grown man shouldn't control his own destiny. Alright, so that's what he said. Okay? So now I'm going to flip back the camera. No? Alright, good. Yeah? So that's what he said. Now, you know, this is not a bashing of Johnny Bones Jones. It's not even about that. But this is just about the way he handled it, right? You had people petitioning to strip the belt off of you. That's how much of a media storm you created by not giving people, like you left a lot of people in limbo. You left Dana White in limbo. People kept asking him at press conference, when are we getting the fight? When are we getting the fight? Are we getting the fight? So you had the UFC heads looking crazy. You know, you had them looking kind of suspect. You hung them out to dry pretty much, because now they're trying to get people to believe something that's never gonna happen. I mean, he kind of hinted at it when he said, if I'm not mistaken, he said, I've already told the UFC my plans. That line right there. Right, so here's the thing. If we're talking about Khabib, right, Nurmagomedov, and I always have a problem saying that. Nurmagomedov, I don't know, right? But anyway, what did he say when he was retiring? He said, I made a promise to my mom that if my father passed, I will not be fighting anymore. Dana has tried to get the man back into the octagon, and he has not been successful in that. In other words, Khabib decided that he was going to retire the moment that he said he would. You know, he made that promise. He made the promise to himself that, look, my father is not here anymore. I'm going to honor my promise to my mother that I'm not going to fight anymore. So that's what he did. He was not going to accept a belt that he did not win. If he feel like he never earned it, he wasn't going to do it. Then he come back and beat Michael Bisping. So there's a reason why they look at other fighters favorably and more honorably than John Jones, simply because there was no mixed messages. There was no trolling. You know what I mean? Like, he spent a lot of time talking about Uncle Chael, talking about DC. You know, he spent a lot of time talking about even Francis Ngannou, a fight that you ducked as well. You ducked that fight as well, right? So it's one of those things where, you know, I mean, we just have to call a spade a spade. It's not that nobody, be straight with the people. That's what they wanted. If you were going to retire, just say that you were going to retire. That's the real problem, more so than anything else. If you're going to retire, just retire. Cut and dry. That's it. Ain't nobody asked you to do nothing else. So you had you who were going on Twitter creating a little media storm with all of the mixed messages and maybe it's happening, maybe it's not. Then we have Dana now, who is attempting to say, yeah, the fight's gonna happen. In other words, he's in negotiation, he's in talks, and it got to a point where you could see the visible frustration in his face. You could see it. I mean, there are so many people in the MMA world that spoke on it. Just anybody that talk combat sports, boxing, MMA, anybody who talks about anything that involves the kicking and punching and grappling of individuals, yeah, anybody who talks about that spoke on this topic, and they saw the frustration in Dana White's face. They saw it. He got tired of people asking him the same question, and he must have come up with new lies. You know, and people were petitioning to strip the belt off of him. Alright, hold on, I have to wait until that passes. So anyhow, it's not that you're retired, it's the how. It's the how. It's not that you leave an organization, it's the how. It's the how. You could have retired like everybody else did. You could have said after your fight with Miocic, right? After your fight with Stipe, you could have announced it right in and there. Yo, I'm retiring. You know, I don't have any more fights left in me. Blah blah blah. You could have done that. That's not what you did. Because most fighters tend to retire in the octagon after their last fight. DC did it like that. A lot of fighters did it after they're like, fam, I'm tired of chasing the belt and the belt being further and further away from me. I'm tired. I've been chasing this belt for the longest. So I don't think I have much left. Like I'm too old now. I'm not young like I used to be. So it is not that you retired, it's how you did. You know, people kept saying how he might mash up him legacy, all of these things. It's, you know. And the truth of the matter is, people wouldn't have anything to say if you had just been straight with everybody. Just say, I have no intention of fighting Tom. None. You hinted it, but you never stated it. That's the thing. You never stated outright, I will not ever fight him. So people thought that it was just this little rigmarole that you were doing just to build up hype for the fight. So it was a 50-50. It's a flip of the coin. You're not sure. It could have been heads, it could have been tails. You are leading people on. That's all that happened. You were leading people on. You made people think that there was a chance. It's like when your girlfriend breaks up with you and says, oh, let's just be friends. No, that is dangerous, because now you're going to hold on to the hope that you can work your way back, because you were already friends. So you think you can work your way back into being the man. Next thing you know, you're up on the phone with her, giving her advice on what to do with the real love of our life, with the man that she replaced you with. Like, that's sort of what John Jones was doing to us, the public. You're leading us on. You're giving us sort of, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I had to use a real life kind of scenario so that you can understand why it is that people have a problem, not with your retirement, but the way you went about it. You know, I don't know if any of the MMA gurus, the DJs, the Ariel Elwanis, or the Uncle Chill and DC, I don't know if they're ever going to see this video, but if there is ever an analogy for what John Jones did to the fighting public, that's what he did. You led us on, man. You led us on. You made us think it could happen. You gave us hope. Even if it was 50%, 50% is still enough. you know, if it's 0.5, it's still enough. It's enough of a chance that it's like, okay, it's right here. It's not really over there yet, but it's not really over here. You know what I mean? So it's not quite yes, but it's not quite no. You understand? Like, that's what the problem was. So I felt the need to actually go into that, you know. But anyway, that's enough of the Bossman Champloo segment of the story. So, you know, if I feel so compelled to actually continue this narrative on the Bossman Champloo page, then I will do that. But you know what? Let me do a little wardrobe switch. Since this is out of many 1Bossman, I might as well play the part, so why not? So give me a second while I do that little change. Let me do that right there. Hold on.